It's me, Renee. I'm back. Today I'm here for the Books and Life tag. It was created by Steve Donaghue. I wasn't really tagged by anyone, but I saw it on David Wiley, didn't I? Yeah, on David Wiley's channel. And it looked like a fun tag. So here I am doing it. It's as easy as that sometimes, really. And also, I think David Wiley also said like anyone wants to do it, do it. And it was like in general, like when you see a tag, you can just do it. You don't have to be tagged specifically. It's not a rule. People, there's no book jubilees. Chillax. No book jubilees is out there. But yeah, let's start. And yeah, of course, I'll link Steve Donaghue, the original tag creator video down below. So, sorry. Prompt number 1. On a scale from 1 to 10, or 1 being a normal person, 10 being the late Harold Bloom, how much are books and reading part of your life? Honestly, I take I take a bit offense by that because it says 1 normal person, so does that mean that people who don't love to read are normal and people who love to read aren't normal? I suppose it depends where you are and stuff, but except like I said, actually in the Wiley's under his tag, actually said that in Norway quite a lot of us read actually. Yes, there's quite a few of us that kind of read maybe 1 or 2 books a year, but like there's people who okay, in Norway it's kind of I feel like in my head at least it's kind of like divided in 3 in a way. The other people like us booktubers who read all the time obsessively. And then you have people who read during Christmas, summer, during Easter, like they read a few times a year because like they don't have time to read the rest of the year, which is nonsense. And then you have people who don't read at all. Though I suppose every nation has those people. Weirdos. But yeah. But like also like you have a lot of people who like only read crime books, but still that's books, so still I would say that counts. So yeah, and then you have people who read highbrow books, and then people who read different stuff, and yeah. And like for example, there's Norwegian Crime Festival. That's obviously based around crime books. That's every May, April. I think it's every May, and it takes place over more or less a long weekend. I think it starts on Wednesday and ends on Sunday. And often you have international people who come over, like Fiona Barton came one time, and then you have, of course, the Norwegian authors, and you have Scandinavian authors, and etc. etc. And that's kind of big to do, really. They get interviewed by people on national radio, on national TV, and sorry, my bottle just fell over. But yeah, so that's kind of big to do, really, and like, and yeah. Other than that, we have other festivals as well. Like the library close to me has like a festival every September, chapter festival, which kind of is, I'll say, slightly a big thing, and it has had big names there. For life of me, I can't remember any big names at the moment, but they have had like big names like from out of overseas, from out of the country. So yeah, let's say reading. And I think I read pretty much a lot of places that Norway's kind of told kind of thought of as a reading nation. And I suppose in a way we can be any sort of nation because we're only 5 million. So like if a lot of us do something, it's kind of like big in proportion to uh, our income, I was about to say, our inhabitants. But yeah, so that's a little bit of a really intro there. But yeah, to describe like how I would 1 to 10, I would say 42. It's kind of ironic in a way. Also, like I love that 42 bit from The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, but I read the whole series years ago and I enjoyed it. But as was how it ended kind of if me from the series. So I'm kind of ambivalent to it. Like I really like some aspects, and some aspects I'm like, Douglas Adams, really, really, you went there? But yeah, but I really like that little bit with the 42, so I use that one often. But yeah, also it's like kind of fits because I have all these books, as also a lot of booktubers do. But not, some people have ebooks, but still, like all of them have a lot. But yeah, I'm educated as a librarian. I work in a bookstore at the moment, and I'm applying for a part-time job at a library uh, in the area. Hopefully, I'll get it. Who knows? I just found out about the advertisement. Advertisement. And yeah, like other than that, like if people like ask people, if they ask others around me, like if someone asks me, or maybe they ask my friends or my sisters, like, how would you describe Renee? They would probably very quickly go to a book lover. That's kind of a big deal of part of my personality. Well, big part of my life. Big part of my personality. Well, I suppose maybe is in a way. And yeah, like I can't go buy a bookstore without walking inside it. Even like if I'm traveling and if I'm like in a country with like very little, where they speak very bad English, I'll still walk in and just like be surrounded by books. So like even though all the books are in languages I don't understand, I'll still want to be close to the books. So yeah, 42 is my answer there really. Let's see what the next one is. Move on. And also, just need a little border. Where does your personal library stand right now in relation to the rest of your life? Do you have more books now than you ever have? Fewer? How has your library changed? Well, I suppose this might be your first video with me. This might be your first video with me. If you have seen my videos from before, you know that I just moved. So this is kind of my new setup. Though it's not quite set up. I put all the books in the shelf, as you see here, but I haven't really put them in the order yet. Well, except that part. That's all my unread books. Well, that part. And up there, so lots of unread books, though some parts of the top shelf is not unread, so yeah. But yeah, do I have fewer or more than I ever have? Maybe I have more? I suppose it depends a bit how you count, because I actually got the Storytel audiobook app last year, and so I have a lot of audiobooks that I've saved from that, and that I kind of downloaded to my phone so I can listen to them when I'm not online, when I'm out of reach of the Wi-Fi. So I would say that, and also like I actually took a bit of a peek like here before like start filming, and thought like, how many books do I have? Because I'm not sure if I have really counted them recently. But honestly, I think it might be between 500 and 1,000, because each of these shelves are double stacked. And like, if you just go, for example, to here, that's around 10 books, and then you go all the way there. So I think maybe 15 books every length, maybe, and then you double that, and then you have there. Then you have some books that are thinner than others, so some books are more spacey, and then you have like all the way up there. And also, there's actually also some books in my bedroom. So, and I also like I have more or less all of Agatha Christie's books. So that's around 90, I think. I don't have all of them, but I have more. I have quite a few of them. And yeah, also like yeah, as I said, sorry. If you count audiobooks, I think maybe at this time, I think maybe I have maybe like, well, I've downloaded maybe like 20, maybe 30, because sometimes I delete them because I don't want listen to them again. But maybe I have around like 50 audiobooks around that. So yeah, 500 to 1,000. I'm thinking that's probably not that far off. it's not it's not important. It's not impossible that I actually count the books. Kind of just curious to see how many I actually have, but I haven't done that as at this point in time. So right now it's just an education. It's I suppose maybe you see in the light, so it's actually a bit sunny outside. So also water is always nice. Well, I suppose it could be something else, but it's water. It's refreshing and good, and yeah. And let's move on. Take a mental step back and ask yourself, what is the most likely bookish impression a newcomer would have in your home? Well, I suppose I can actually cheat a bit here because it says take a step back and imagine. But like since I recently moved in here, like recently, I bought the place last year, but have just recently officially moved in with all my stuff and everything. And so last week, my sisters were in town, all three of them. I'm youngest of four, and so two of them had been there before, but the oldest one hadn't. And she actually asked me like, "I would think you had more books." She was astonished that I didn't have more books, and it seems like she was under the impression that yeah, oh, she knows that I've loved to read all my life. That's kind of obvious. That, yeah, my sisters know me well. But she also like she kind of assumed that all the books I read were books I owned, like that, like I didn't use the library. So I suppose that's kind of part of it. I think she also thought that all the books I bought I would keep, but I'm actually an unholder. Like sometimes I buy books totally random and I discover that oh they're not for me. Or maybe I buy a book that people have talked about, hyped about, and then I read it and I discover it's not bad, but I don't like it. Or maybe sometimes I read a book and it's not that good at all and I DNF it. Or if I read a book, I enjoy it, and then I reread it some years later and I discover kind of grown out of it. So like if a book like kind of like Marie Connor really. If a book doesn't give me joy, I won't keep it. Some people seem to keep all the books they own, and yeah, I suppose to me there's so many books out there in the world, and there's so many books out there in the world to discover and enjoy. So why would I keep books that I don't enjoy really? I suppose you could go with the devil's advocate thing and say like, well, those are beautiful spines. But then I would say, well, can't you have beautiful spines that have also books like content that gives you enjoyment? Can't you have both? At least I would say I do more or less. So yeah. So there's that. She was surprised I didn't have more books, but she also said, sorry. She also said that it was kind of like how love the books, how like for example here you see like lots of different colors. I suppose like how I do it, I don't really have coordinated by colors. I have different colors in the same space, and it kind of in a way really also kind of works like as a nice way to like decorate the apartment. I mean, you have beautiful covers and cover spines to look at, and yeah, that's just kind of a benefit really. It's not really something I thought of, but yeah, they do brighten up the place with all the colors. And yeah, they give me joy. So I suppose yeah, that's kind of what people think. I had some friends over a few weeks ago. They didn't really mention my books. If that is because they don't read that much, or because we just kind of end up not like we just talked. We didn't really talk that much about the apartment. I'm not sure, but yeah. Okay, let's move on. A bit long, but hey. Yeah, blah 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 blah. How often, if ever, do you clean or reorganize your books? I wouldn't really say I do that often. Like, maybe I reorganize in somewhere like if like this year I've kind of gone through my books and kind of reread stuff and kind of unhold stuff because I'm moving or I was moving to this place. But like in general, like day to day life, I don't really organize that like disorganize, reorganize that much. I might like maybe I might do it like once a year maybe, But that's like, I suppose that's kind of a complete guess. That's, I think, probably more likely maybe like once every few years. It's not really something I do on purpose or like often, because yeah, often I just kind of like how the books are. I suppose maybe like if I get the last two books in a series and suddenly maybe I can have a whole shelf for one series or like stuff like that, I might just change the shelf. But often I won't really do that much. That's not something I do really. Yeah, I get more enjoyment of just kind of buying books and looking at books than reorganizing. That's not, yeah, that's not something for me. On average, how many books do you acquire each week? Well, with me actually working in a bookstore and also yeah, discount from work, and also I love libraries. So I'll say like in a way it depends on a week. Like as a lot of book lovers, like if I have a if I have had a bad day or bad week, I might use some retail therapy in the bookstore or like library. I suppose also like they said acquire, so does that just mean, does the question always means talk about bookstores and buying books, or does can you include library? Don't know, don't know. Well, anyway, and then so yeah, I suppose like if I had a bad week, I might buy one or two or three books because like if I find a few cool books, and then also like if I have a boring day at work, I might order some books from work. Well, not from work, but like through my work. This was. Do you count ordering or do you like count when when you pay for them? Because actually, it also kind of depends a bit. Like sometimes all the books that I order through work gets there soon, and sometimes it takes weeks. I suppose also like, of course, when you pre-order stuff, it won't come the day you pre-order it. But yeah, so I'll say like on a bad week, like if I had a bad week, maybe up to 5 books. On a week that's kind of fine, I might not buy anything at all because I have a big unread pile, and I more or less always like have one audiobook that I'm listening to, or I have a book that from library I want to read, or I have another book I'm reading. Like I always have some books that I can pick up and enjoy. It's not like I ever feel like, oh, I don't have any books. I suppose I used to do that, but at this point in time, no. I have such a variety in my unread books and also my audiobooks that I always find something to read. Or like if I don't, I'll just kind of take a break, like in a break in reading for like in general, not like just like it won't be like I don't have anything to read, or you more like I don't really want to read, which does happen, which I'll get to more soon. Blah 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 blah. What song? So this one is more about life part. It's called Books and Life. So far it's been a lot about books, but it's been about life as well. And next song, next song. Next question is, what song is currently your earworm? So what song goes on repeat on your in your head at the moment? And as a lot of people, I often have books. Well, books. Sorry, I often have songs as earworms. But honestly, lately, these last few days, last few week really, I haven't really had any songs. Kind of weird. But I suppose I've had. Well, I had one that I had recently. It's kind of 2 or 3 weeks ago, and like it's kind of weird how some songs just come to your head, just like out of the blue. Somewhat like sometimes, often you get a song on your head if you listen to it a lot, like if it's around Christmas and you're going around the mall and all the malls are playing the same Christmas songs, of course then often a song gets stuck in your head. Or if you have to learn a song for school or something like that, like if you have to focus on a song. But like uh, what happens with me sometimes when I just like watch people, like just see a person And that song that I kind of combine, like kind of associate with them, goes in my head like non-stop repeat, and it's just yeah, it's kind of weird, really. Um, and also like there was this other song that I saw it on TV a few weeks ago, actually now a few months ago, but like it's kind of slightly in my head now and then, and you're probably a bit curious about which songs. So the first song that I had in my head for like a day. It was just so stuck. It was just so annoying. And I was like, I got it when I looked at my mom, and it's not like I hadn't seen her in a while. I had seen her for many days after each other, so it wasn't like I hadn't seen her before. But brains. But okay, so the thing is, my mom, in the 80s, she went backpacking around Latin America, and then after that, she's done a lot of work in collaboration with Cuba and Chile and Argentine and Latin America. And she also really loves Mercedes Sosa, Veleta Parra, all those kind of folksy protest singers. And so often she kind of turned those songs on in like the house. Like when I was growing up, she often put on those kinds of songs. Mercedes Sosa, yeah, all those people. So this one song, I suppose maybe I can't sing because of copyright. Well, I'm not that good. And I don't really know the whole song, so I'm gonna try. There's this one song it's kind of like Todavía cantamos, todavía vivimos. That's just those two lines I remember of that song. Probably heard the whole song, but it's just those two lines I remember. And they go and repeat, repeat, repeat. It's a good song, but it's just kind of annoying to have in my head. Kind of a bit annoying. So yeah, that was luckily it's not in my head anymore. Yay! Um, the other one, which was kind of nice to actually have in my head, was okay. So sorry. So as I said, a few months ago there was this. Oh, I saw it on TV. There was this kind of compilation. There was this show of like different musical tunes that they had in one show because this one theater in Norway had 100 years anniversary, so they decided to like get lots of different musical artists to like sing different songs. There was a Lemis song. There was I think there was maybe Anna Get Your Gun song. Yeah, lots of different songs, and they were all well done Norwegian because Norwegian theater. But yeah, one of them was from the 12 Shillings Opera. Well, that's what's called Norwegian. I thought first it was Norwegian, and then I saw like someone said, no, that's not actually Norwegian. I have not actually checked out who it is. That's actually like what the original title is. Well, I think actually it's probably in German because I think it's by a German, Bertolt Brecht. But yeah, anyway, so the song is kind of about these guys who's I think like kind of they're standing in they're at the bar and they're kind of singing about how none of them they can all take the liquor, like none of us will like go home soon, and then like says like who of us can will go will stop first drinking, and then it's just like not me, not me, not me, not me, and like it's not me, but they say like not me, not me, not me, and like not me, not me, and it's kind of so simple, but it's kind of also catchy. So it's just Eten Theodor, Eten Valdemar, og Eten, yeah. That one kind of likes having my own brain away. It's not that much on my brain anymore, but I kind of liked. I haven't actually seen the whole musical that one. I've just seen that one song. But yeah, that seems very cool. So yeah, let's move on to the next. What percentage of self-control do you retain in a well-stocked bookstore? Well, the question here is well-stocked bookstore. Like how do you define well-stocked? But that was I suppose probably in a bookstore with lots of books and lots of like a big bookstore. I suppose it depends kind of like when I am. Like as I said, I cannot walk past a bookstore. I always have to go in. That does mean that sometimes I walk in a bookstore but I don't have money, so I can't buy anything. But like if I walk in a bookstore and it's well stocked and I have money, I'll probably buy a book or two. But I suppose also that depends. Like if I'm like, for example, if I'm visiting another city in Norway or another city in like if I'm like last year I actually went to I went to London just a few weeks before the pandemonium, and I went to the biggest bookstore in Europe, 5 floors. Was there for like 2 3 so it's in 2 3 months. I could have done that 2 3 hours. I end up buying I think maybe 20 books, but there were I suppose some of them were impulse buys and bad buys, but most of them were good buys. So yeah, so like if it's a huge bookstore that has lots of stuff and like it's not books I'll come back to soon, I'll probably go a bit crazy. If it's a bookstore that's like close to me, then I might buy one book or two. Might not be that crazy because I can just come back the next week. So yeah, and then we have. Do you ever feel a need to take a break from books? If so, what form does it take? Well, need. Well, I suppose actually sometimes like last year I ended up doing a lot of readathons, and like I discovered there was a lot of fun readathons. That before I hadn't kind of maybe done one, two a year, but last year I did one more or less every month, and it was fun. A lot of them were fun. I kind of discovered like after readathons, I kind of sometimes I got a bit slumpy, kind of need a bit of a break. Especially like if I'm doing juries, which is one where you're supposed to read for 24 hours, well, as many books or as much as you can during that 24 hours. So, like, if you read for 12 hours, that's good as well. It's just point is to read a lot during that time. So yeah, actually, like if I'm doing a weekend readathon or yeah, juries, I might get a bit slumpy. Like maybe I might like read one sentence or two in the book I'm reading in my nightstand before I sleep, or maybe I won't read at all. When that happens, I probably will turn to binge watching. So Gilmore Girls, or I might watch a new show on Netflix, like different shows that I kind of discover. I might watch some old TV series that I like Chuck, Merlin. David Wiley talked about how he does reviews on both board games. I used to actually do board games every week because I had like this gang. Sounds weird. This group of people who did board games every week. Like we had like a core group, and then some people who came every now and then. And we were everything between like 1 week we could be 4 people, and next week we can suddenly be 10 people. So it depends on what we played on how many people we were, obviously. But yeah, that was where I was lived before. And this place, I haven't really met that many people who just like good board games. Well, met that many people in general because pandemonium. But hopefully, actually, where I move now, there's actually a board game club thingy. So I might try to join that and see how that is. Maybe I'll meet some people there who have some similar interests because yeah, I very much want to get back into board games. I really like that. Also, board game wise, as in a lot of ways, I kind of feel like a merry middle because I like board games. I don't really like the basic bitch board games like Monopoly uh, or Monopoly or what's the other one? Millionaire. Don't really like that much. But like I really like Ticket to Ride and Settlers of Catan. So like the more nerdy ones, I suppose now you can find Settlers of Catan at normal stores, but before you could only find them in special stores, at least in Norway. But like for example, like if a game takes like 10 hours to play, I'm like, no, I don't want to do that one. Or like if a game has I don't know 12 ways to win, I'm like, for me, that's too many rules. Like, I like a game that has some rules and then different ways to win, like Settlers. But if there's too many rules, I get confused and it just gets too much for me. And yeah, I don't really like that. Also, yeah, as I said, I like Ticket to Ride. I like Settlers of Catan. I also like Timeline and Code Names. So that kind of those what's the society games, those party games like that. And yeah, I suppose yeah, because that's kind of anyway answer that question. Uh, let's check out blah 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 blah. Have I got them all? Blah 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 blah. When you meet a new person, how soon do you talk about books? Well, this also kind of interesting. I'm not that social, and honestly, I don't really meet as many new people in my life, really. Like because pandemonium, so you can really meet people. So because of that, and also I'm not social, and like I suppose I could meet like people in by work. Like well, I work in a bookstore, so I meet people all the time there. It's not like I don't meet people, but I don't really talk that much. I suppose when you come into a bookstore, it's kind of natural to talk about books. Sometimes they ask like, "Do you have anything to recommend?" Or if they just buy something, I might say, "Oh, that's a very good book." So yeah, in that way, those. But does that count as meeting people? Well, customers are people, not like monsters or different entities. But yeah, I'm thinking this probably more applies to like outside of work stuff. And yeah, outside of work, I don't really meet people because pandemonium. But also, double-edged sword time, personal time. A little bit of anecdote. So around maybe 20 years ago, I think maybe well 15 years ago, yeah, a long time ago, but still, it kind of stuck with me. I was talking to friends. It was kind of I went to this kind of club, creative writing club, and before we started writing that one day, uh, I think we were waiting for something or something like, and then someone asked me like, "What have you done today?" or like, "How are you doing?" And then I had to give an anecdote, and I felt like the anecdote was interesting and cool and good. And then the person sitting next to me was like, "Why did you think that was interesting? Why did you think I wanted to know that?" And in my mind, that anecdote was interesting, and I thought it was an interesting thing to talk about. So after that, I've kind of been slightly scared of saying the wrong thing, of like saying things that people will be bored of or will not understand the interests of. And also, like, I've been bullied quite a lot. Uh, like, both bullied directly and also, like, excluded from stuff. And also, I don't really understand clues and stuff. So social, I suppose, in a way, social situations, they scare me because I don't really like them. I like being alone. I like to read. I like to watch TV. I don't really have a need to be with people all the time. I can't actually sit in my room and read for several days at a time. Like if I have a few days off, I can just sit and read. I don't need to talk to people to be satisfied. But also like if I sometimes feel like okay, kind of want to be social and I meet somebody someplace and I might do something weird or might maybe something happens over there and they laugh and I'm like, are you laughing off? So social situations kind of scare me. So I suppose I slightly avoided them in a way. So yeah. So I suppose maybe yeah, a long-winded way of saying I talk about books when it's kind of natural. Like if they say have you read anything good lately, or what have you doing lately? And if I've read an amazing book, and I kind of think this person likes to read a bit as well, I might say, I read this amazing book recently. I might do that, but like I won't really talk about books anytime anymore because yeah, well, I won't talk about stuff in general anymore because yeah, yeah, scaredness, nervousness. Let me check out the next one. This next one is kind of a bit morbid, really. That was fun in a way. Have you given any thought, made any provisions for your personal library after you croak? Well, I'm gonna say I stay with here. One, I just turned 29, so hopefully I won't croak for like 100, another 200 years or many, many years. And secondly, no, I haven't really because, well, most of the books I have, I mean, they're precious to me, but they're not really valuable. So I suppose they would kind of go to someone close to me, maybe my sisters or maybe some friends. Yeah, I suppose maybe I'll give them to the friends who love to read. I could do that. But yeah, I haven't thought about it at all really. Can't say I have. And then the next one. Are you known among your friends and loved ones for your weird and probably unhealthy relationship with books? Well, okay, the question is for your friends and loved ones. I suppose with like among my family, yeah, I'm known as like the book girl. Like one time during it wasn't Christmas Eve, but maybe it was like the second or first Christmas day. And I kind of felt like the conversation was going a bit. Uh, sorry, I just have to move a bit. Was going a bit uninteresting, and at the time I had a very good book reading. I was reading a very good book, so I kind of end up like taking a book like like softly from the shelf and just sitting there and just kind of reading, having the book under the table and just kind of looking down and reading while the other people talked around me. I was like, book, so weird, but it actually went for some time before anyone talked about it. So and also like yeah, it wasn't the important day, so yeah, I mean they get that. But yeah, then also like friends. If you talk about friends, because I said like friends and loved ones, I suppose I would hope your friends love you. But we can probably means like the family, like loved ones, so probably also means like family, in-laws and all of that. Um, yeah, my friends. Well, since I've gone to library, didn't educate. My camera went a bit weird, so it cut off. But yeah, I'm back. Yeah, if you're talking also about like my friend circles, like as I said, I did take in taken batch did take I did take a bachelor in library and information science. So because of that, I have a few friends that really like to read. So like if I talk to any of them, they won't really think it's weird to talk about books. And also like from my earlier years, a lot of my friends like to read. Some of them don't like to read like that much, but I think most of them like to read in some sort of way or another. Really, I have a few that doesn't like to read at all. That's few really. So I wouldn't really say I'm the weird book loving person in my like society, in my little community, because a lot of people I know like to read something or another. So I suppose besides maybe my family think I'm a bit too booky sometimes. But yeah. Then let's check out soon. We're on to the last question. Oh, that was the last question actually. Sorry. So yeah, the question is, as often is, tag people. I'm gonna tag the usual ones. So I'm gonna tag Alice and Eli. Think it would be funny to hear what she says. I'm gonna tag Rosie. I'm gonna tag blanking out. Sorry, Katie. Sorry, Katie. I blanked on your name mid there. Katie from Katie Reads and Rants. And yeah, anyone who wants to do it, you can do it. And yeah, bye.